right. Hello, everyone. Still waiting on people to join in. You could take your guesses on what the next project is going to be here. Maybe throw it in the comments if you can guess what we're going to be showing for next month's box. Today we're going to be doing Magic in the Air, and we're going to go through one of the blocks, the one with the mason jar, and doing the flip and sew and how much fabric you'll need to cut out. Also, information regarding the book. And if you're new here, this is Gloria Horn Sewing Studio. I'm Tommy. This is Carol. She's going to be helping me out. She's been helping me out with all these projects, sewing these projects together. And we are going to go through and talk about Magic in the Air today. And we're also going to go over the next kit, which is very red, white, and blue. So let's see. Can you scroll up a little? I want to see how many people are on because I don't want. And yep, someone got Marilyn Barone. Got it. It is a casserole carrier. Okay. So this is called the Old Glory casserole carrier, and you might be thinking, well, it doesn't look like it can carry anything yet. We're still working on it. Okay. Kate, could you give us a zoom in of this, and could you switch to Sold 101? So here is the one side panel. It's over here. It's over here. Here's one of the side panels. Now we still have to cut out the top here. You're actually going to have a wood dowel that you're going to use to carry this together. But you can see the different designs that you're going to get. You're going here. Let's flip it this way so they can see everything. You're going to get this design 1, this design 2, this design 3. This is the only applique in there, 4, 5 different designs. Now you'll get a different one of these, and it says Home of the Brave. So one side says Land of the Free, one side says Home of the Brave. We're calling it the Old Glory Carrier. Let's show them how it's going to fold up. Okay, we're not done with it, so we haven't put the lining on at all. You'll get the lining fabric to go along with this. You'll get all the fabric to make it. The only thing that you won't get is the batting. So when I lay my casserole in there and we have it lined, it's going to fold over like that, fold over like this, and then these two will fold up, and then we're going to have wood dowels that you hold like that. And you'll be able to carry your casserole to whatever event. I think this is going to be a very fun project to do. Now, I know this is supposed to go out in July, and 4th of July is coming up very soon. Now, we're seeing this as next year's 4th of July. For the 250th anniversary, you got to show up to the cookout with the coolest casserole carrier anyone has ever seen, and they're going to want to eat all the casserole that's inside.
You need to be a patriot all the time. 4th of July, I mean, patriotic fabrics are all year as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Live in the U.S. I know we have some Canadian fans, but I'm sorry. You could try to do your own spin on it. Maybe just red and white.
I think every month we say that you've outdone yourself, but I really do think this month it's surpassed.
I know. I can't help it. I can't help but trying to make it better and better each time.
Yep.
Which kind of like kicks me in the butt because it takes more time to make these things. More extravagant. Now we still have quilting to go along with this, so you'll also get quilting designs. And let me show them this one. Here's a Statue of Liberty. These are edge-to-edge designs I have made. Here's a Statue of Liberty one, and this is the 9.5 and 14 by 14 size. So these are edge-to-edge. I mean, you don't have to connect them anywhere. You can they fit seamlessly together. So you'll be able to repeat this one and put it side by side, and this star will end up right here, and you can see it fits just perfectly. Mm-hmm. There's also the eagle one. And I'll flip it like
that
this.
Way. Oh.
So they could see the little America.
Oh.
So they could see the America. This one has eagles and same stars. Now this one's for the 8 by 12. You'll get the 6 by 10 size for the edge to edge, and this whole project can be done in a 6 by 10 hoop. So I wanted to be inclusive of all the machines for this one now. 6x10. I'm getting lower and lower too. I did the last one 8x12. This one's 6x10. Now there's not varying sizes for these designs. You will get these separate. So you could get this, like you're just going to get this font separate. You'll get these stars separate. You'll get the popsicle separate, just as like little extras that you're going to get along with this. Alyssa, I have sent out so Magic in the Air. Should we move on to that?
Yeah.
I think this Thursday, we're going to have the finished product for you guys, and you'll be able to get the full picture of what the next month is going to be. And I guess I'll leave you to...
Okay.
Carol's the one stitching it together, so she's going to keep track of this. And if I keep track of it, Pamela, it's available in JEF format. I'm going to try to do all the different formats. Now, if you have a machine and you're requesting a separate format, please let us know, and I can add that. And So let's move on to Magic in the Air. And I don't think I told the people who are new of what I said we're Glory Horn Sewing Studio, but we're live on Facebook right now. We're also live on YouTube, right, Kate? We're live on YouTube. We do live instructional videos every single day, pretty much. No, well, 5 days a week. We do it 5 days a week. And we do varying projects from embroidery to quilting to sewing to learning the machines that we sell, Bernina, Brother, and Baby Lock. We have an app called Glory Horn Sewing Studio. It's on the App Store and Google Play Store, and you'd want to download that and register an account with us so you could shop with us. Okay.
Pamela wants to know if this is available in
JEF
format.
Yeah, yes. JEF, Jeff format. Yes. It is available in Jeff format.
And Diane, it will go out in July. I mean, we're not...
Yeah, for this one, I know it's like you're not gonna be able to make it right before 4th of July.
Right.
And I know I was saying that I was gonna stick away from doing holidays, but the first one I ever did was United We Stand, the wall hanging, and I'm a patriot. I love the USA, and I love red, white, and blue stuff, so I had to do that. And it was only fitting that I did it for July.
Yeah.
So Magic in the Air. Someone said, have you sent them out yet? We have sent out a lot. Thank goodness for all of you who purchased these. They were very popular. So we had to order more of the product that goes inside. So some of you may have not gotten yours yet. That's okay. You could rewatch this video. We're just going to go over sewing one of the blocks together. I also want to go over the instruction booklet with the digital download code that you got, because that's very important. So I think that's the first thing I'll bring up. So I'll have to cover the special code. But here's the instructional booklet you got. Now, this is my separate entity from Gloria Horn Sewing Studios, and Gloria is getting these, I'm collaborating, it's like a collaboration, really. So I'm going to be selling these booklets after, a certain amount of time on my site that are digital download codes. Also, if you have a local retailer that wants to purchase these, and if you're in California and you have a local retailer who's looking for embroidery designs, we're going to be wholesaling these and trying to get them in distributors as well. But if you open up to the first page, and maybe I should use some paper tape so they can't read this one. So up on the first page is going to be how you redeem your download code on my site. It's soseamless.shop. Now, I'm still adding products to there. This is the first one that I've really added. But down here where I'm covering my thumb is where your special code will be. Here, let's move it out of the shot.
Can still see it. Yeah. Let's try too. Can still see it. Okay.
No,
let's forget
no big
about
deal.
It. Yeah. Here, cover it with the fabric.
That's okay.
Is it coming off?
Here, yeah. Let me see the fabric.
Just cover it with the fabric. Yeah.
It tells you step by step how to get there. Now, if you have any trouble with the designs or download code, the email is also listed down below on the next page. Solutions@soseamless.shop. If you have any questions with these projects, please email there, and we can help you the best we can. Maddie's going to be answering emails for me. So I'm going to be answering the emails. But you'll go there. The important thing about going to that site and downloading that code, anytime there is an update to the design or instructions, you're going to get automatic, and you downloaded it from my site with your email, you're going to get a notification over your email. If I've changed anything, if I've added anything, you're going to get a notification and be able to re-download it again. If I've added anything to those files, you'll be able to download it again. Do these come if we purchase the monthly embroidery for the year? These books? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the past few ones, I wasn't doing that. We'll see how we can, if you show me your receipt, we can get you a download code on my site.
Is the EXP included?
EXP is included. So EXP is included. Sometimes I have to look. There's so many different formats. Right now for this book, we have DST, EXP, HUS, JEF, PES, VAIP, VP3, and XXX.
Triple X.
Which is Melco or something. But Sold 104 is for this booklet. So we're selling this one, just the booklet with the digital download code. And that's what your local retailer, if you want to recommend that to them, if some of you watching are part of another quilt shop, they can certainly reach out to me and get signed up on my site to purchase these booklets. And you can see it's priced at $34.95. So I suggest getting the kit, because the kit is, you're not getting a USB with just a booklet, you're just getting the printed out instructions in the digital download code. For the kit here, Gloria has it at what, $67.95? So Sold 100 is for the kit.
Do we have a % back today on everything?
So everything is on the USB, right? Everything is on the USB, but if you don't use the digital download code, you're not going to get a notification. I already know there's some remediations that I have to make on the back cover, and the pages are way too dark. So there's a few pages that are very dark in here that are very hard to see. I have to reprint these books, but if you do the digital PDF, you're going to see the pictures much more clear. I mean, you really have to look, and that's unfortunate. You just run into these problems whenever you're printing out booklets, and people come with remediations all the time. But yeah, so any questions, feel free to reach out. The kit is Sold 100, and let's go over what's in the kit first.
Okay, back here.
So in this kit, you will get clear vinyl. You'll get clear vinyl. You'll get your fairy lights. It looks like someone got some candy here. I think Gloria, she promised the candy. Originally, they weren't supposed to be in the box. So if you didn't get your candy, I'm sorry about that.
Everybody expects it.
Everyone expects it.
That's the first thing they look for, I think, when they open that box.
You're going to get a spool of embroidery thread. If you didn't get the printed out instructions, you should reach out to us. You were supposed to get the printed out instructions. If you got it in this box, please reach out to us. Now, the next one might be coming in a poly mailer. We're just trying to come up with different. This is the first time we're doing these monthly boxes. I know the poly mailer is not a box, but kind of does the same trick.
You'll be just as happy with the contents.
Yeah, you'll be just as happy with the contents. Now you'll get 5 different fabrics. These are quarter yards. So I listed on the back here of what they are. I don't have a picture. So that might be something that I'm sending out tonight, is a picture of the names of these, the name of the fabric along with the picture of the fabric. That should have been something I added to the instructions. But you'll get 4 quarter yards of this fabric, and then you'll get a 3/4 yard of the backing.
Yep.
And that's just enough. I mean, this big fat quarter, you're going to be able to even make 2 of these, really. And you'll just have to buy more backing. Yeah. Right. So, and the cool flash drive.
Yeah, it's in the machine. Yeah.
So I got the cool flash drive. Each one of these is going to come with an awesome flash drive. This one's just got little blue crystals. And I'm really glad that the tariffs aren't super high. so I can keep buying these cool flash drives.
Sparklies. This is so pretty.
Yep.
Yep.
But let's get into it.
Okay.
What block were we doing? Let's open this
You
up.
didn't see that.
What, did you take the candy?
No, I put it back.
It's okay.
All right, let me put the USB back in.
So Carol's going to put the USB back in. We are going to go over, if we open up our instructions, to page number 6, I believe. Well, let's start with page number 4.
Oh, we got to change thread.
Okay, go ahead, change the thread. Page number 4, we have our first 3 steps, okay? So the first step is to hoop. So you see in the hooping instructions, it says use no-show medium weight stabilizer, and we're gonna hoop that in the 8x12 hoop.
I have to use this.
Yep, and that's right, Sharon. The colors do go dark to light and then dark again, and you can see it on page number 3. You can see what fabrics I used. So if you are wondering what fabrics to use, refer to page 3, and that should give you a better idea of what color fabric is which. And then for this page, step 1 will be the placement stitch. Step 2, you'll lay down your batting, and you'll tack down batting and trim it. And then step 3 will be to place your fabric and tack down your fabric. Okay, so that's the first 3 steps we're going to work on right now. So we're going to get our 8x12 hoop. And if we go over to Carol, you could see on her machine screen, she's going to go to embroidery.
And then I'm going to go to
The pocket. Carol's. What machine do you have, Carol?
I have an Elissimo. I have an oldie.
She's got an oldie.
The pocket.
The pocket. She's gonna go to the flash drive tab. She's gonna click on Magic in the Air. Let's go through some of these first.
Okay.
So there's all the formats that we have listed. We're gonna choose PES. So she's gonna scroll to PES. And then we have block 1, block 2, block 3. Scroll up a little. Block 4, block 5. Click on the bonus folder. So once again, I've added bonus quilt block with the flip and sew borders along with a applique of just a firefly that looks more like a quilt block. Now you have an elements folder. Go ahead and click on the elements folder. So in the elements folder, you have a bunch of the different elements used in this design. The little boy in block number 3 and the little girl in block number 3. You have the eyelet. So these are the eyelets that we're going to be punching out.
There.
And they're just little tiny eyelets. So if you get a longer set of fairy lights, if you want to use a 6-foot fairy light and add more lights to it, you can do that. You get the lantern from block number 5 or 4. And you'll get the font from block number 5. So just adding a little extra elements. I know sometimes you all like that. And you can kind of take those designs and just be creative. And then quilting. What's in quilting? Oh yeah, I added quilting. So the background quilting, I also added these separate steps. And now, which one I want to point out is this one right here. So those borders that we're going to be putting on after you are all done, assembling your blocks, and then you cut out your strips, you can actually quilt those strips with one of these. And that might add an extra effect to it, just a little more stitching to make your project, a little
more special.
A little more special, right? But she's gonna go back to return. Yeah, back one more. Back another.
Block 2.
Block 2 is what we're gonna be doing.
Okay.
She's gonna click on block number 2. Click set.
Okay, we're ready to go. It's in.
And she's not going to move it around. She's just going to click embroidery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
She'll click embroidery on this screen, and then she'll start with the first step, which is the placement stitch. Now, also I want to note. So in the top part here, it has the size, okay? And that's how big our background is gonna be, like our fabric background. So we can go ahead and head to the table. So it says 11.22 by 7.85. I just want to add like 1.5 inches or 2 inches to the height and width. So we'll go ahead and cut this. We could even cut it we have plenty of fabric here to work with. I like to give myself room. Let's cut it 14 by 10. Can we do that? Or is that too big?
No, that's good.
That's fine. 14 by 10. So all you have to do is look up the size. Now you can measure the placement stitch too. So I could have went and took my ruler and measured the placement stitch, and that will tell me what size the fabric is going to be. Will it do quilting before the applique? Yes, it will. Oh, for which design? We'll go over it. We'll go over it, and I'll be able to. We're gonna go through this, and we'll be able to answer more questions.
I think we need a new cutter.
Yeah, we should have put that on the product list. And
Okay.
Kate was. Thank you, Kate, for adding those colors. So for this block, we are going to be using thread colors.
Oh, wait. What goes down first? Batting?
Yeah, so the first is going to be batting. So we're going to grab some batting. It doesn't matter which kind. Carol, look, there's a giant roll over here. Is this okay to use?
I should have been better prepared.
No, that's okay. I wanted to talk to them about...
No, that's too thick. There's some over here.
Carol's running to grab fabric. I could talk about another mistake in my booklet. So on the very back of the booklet, it says for thread ES 243. It's actually ES 423. But thankfully in my instructions I say 423. So I think we have one open, Carol. Let me go find one. So yeah, I made the mistake of putting in the wrong thread color number on the back. We use exquisite thread, and we got some, Carol, look.
My bad.
That's okay.
I should have been better prepared.
I mean, I didn't help her at all, so.
We've been dealing with the casserole carrier,
Yeah,
and I just,
we're worried
that's
about
where
the
my
casserole
mind
carrier.
was. Yeah.
And yeah, so the thread colors we got to use for this one is ES 423, ES 806, which is dime exquisite thread. And then, oh wait, wrong page. This one, 423, 806, thankfully it's the same threads. So 423, 806, and MG1. Now the first stitch she's going to be using is 423, so is that the one you have in?
No, actually this is 806.
So we'll put in...
You want to put in 423? Do we
Yeah.
use 423 for most of it? Like the embroidery, is it in 423?
Yeah, so the first, the background quilting is 423.
All right.
So we'll start off with 423. It doesn't really matter with your
Yeah.
tack down stitch. So, I mean, even with the batting stitch, it really doesn't matter. You could use green if you wanted to.
Yeah,
But we'll put in 423.
I got it.
I hate these things, you know?
Why?
You got to be careful of this, because if you get these,
Little circles?
this little circle, if you don't take that out and it gets stuck to your thread, it can pull into your machine, and
I
that's
know.
happened to people.
Yeah.
I just blow them, I go, and blow
And
out.
it pops out, yeah.
Sometimes it pops out.
I never thought of that. I usually always get mine off though too.
Yeah,
All right.
but that thing could be a pain. Gotta look out for that. Keep your machines working good, in good condition. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut out the batting. Did you already cut a batting piece out?
Yeah, I did.
She did. And you know what? We just line it up. We throw it over top and we cut. We waste a lot here. I'm sure a lot of you like to conserve. So same thing. It's going to fit within that placement stitch. So just measure that placement stitch. Give yourself 1 inch to grab onto when you're trimming. And yeah, she's going to tack down that batting.
Wait, didn't stitch. Didn't thread the needle. Glasses off.
And the batting stitch should go over twice. If it goes over once, might be an update I need to do. One more. Wait.
Yeah, we're good.
No, it's applique position. We'll go to this one. So step number 2 is going to say red on this one.
That's right, I did. Okay.
And it's just going to tack down. And yeah, we'll take that out and trim it afterwards. Because we don't want the batting in our seam allowance. It will just add an extra bulk to it. You're basically going to go through every single block and do the same thing. This one involves a flip and sew, and we're going to get to the flip and sew, and that happens on machine step number 5 is when the flip and sew happens. So that will actually be the next step. Well, after our fabric is tacked down.
I'm going to grab a set of instructions to keep by the machine. So I'll take the one out of here.
Okay.
You going to be the trimmer?
Yeah.
Try this.
I'm going to try the duckbills, yeah. I always just use the easy snips for trimming the applique, but sometimes that batting can be tricky. I'm going to go ahead and trim it with these duckbill scissors. And for the fabric, we used all of Maywood Studios Shadow Play, a very nice basic we always keep in the store. And I wanted to kind of do more stitching, rather so decorative fabric like we did in Gam's Garden. So for this one, you want me to trim?
Yeah.
I want to give this a shot. So I'm using, these are the 6-inch duckbill applique scissors. And I'm just going to trim right up to that tack down stitch of the batting. Just take your time. Don't pull it too much, or it might knock your no-show stabilizer out of the hoop, and then you have to restart. So if you do that, I recommend just restart. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Someone's calling me. Hopefully it's not Maddie. Oh, I love these. These are very nice. Let me try these.
Yeah, that's why I pulled them out. Try those.
Oh, I like the little ones.
Do you?
I don't know.
I've got a size that's in between these two, and it's my favorite.
I got big fingers, so these kind of... I think I might like the bigger ones. Let me test. Oh, I like these. See, this part's too fat, and it's running into my hoop.
Yeah.
So these ones make it nice, and it's not running into my hoop.
I'm going to check when I get home what brand mine are, because I love mine. But they're in between that small size and this bigger one.
Yeah. Now, after we tack down our fabric, we're not going to trim to the very end. So after all the stitching said and done, we'll do the trimming. And we'll talk about that whenever we complete this block. I could probably clean up this too. I do like to keep this fairly close to the tack down stitch.
Yeah.
If it is a little out, that's okay. Yeah, I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Okay. Placement stitch for the fabric.
The closer
next?
is the better. Yeah. Oh no, tack down stitch for the fabric. So
right.
After the batting tacks down, Carol's going to take this fabric and tack it down. And we placed Shapeflex on the back of all our background pieces. The only thing that you're not going to do the background or the Shapeflex on is probably the backing. Even your strips, when you're all done, you're going to put Shapeflex before cutting out your strips. Baby Mary is good. Her and Gray were playing in the pool. This heat is really hot, let me tell you. So they were playing in the backyard, playing in our little inflatable pool that we've had. and they were having a blast. Let me see if I can pull up Maddie's text. So baby Mary and Gray just love each other. They are having so much fun playing in the pool. There's little Mary, she's swimming. There's Gray and Mary. They're becoming best of friends, so it's really cute seeing how they're playing together. Here's Gray. Here's Gray's action shot. Just being a wild man. I feel so blessed to have these two and my wife, so it makes life a lot easier. But Mary's hip, she's doing good. It's been hard to keep her in the brace that we've been putting her in. So she has hip dysplasia, just like slight hip dysplasia. I guess that's common for little baby girls. And we're keeping her in a brace as best we can. She wants to move, so it's hard to keep her in it. Okay.
Okay, background quilting?
Nope. So next step is going to be, you're on block 1. Flip the page.
Oh, that's
block
right,
2
block 2.
will be the seam placement stitch. So here's a placement stitch for our flip and sew block. Now you won't have to shape flex the flip and sew fabric either. So I would leave that unshape flex. And we're going to use fabric D. Is that a different color?
Slightly different, it's a little bit
So
lighter.
what I did was I used fabric D, and fabric D would be the lightest blue. So the lightest blue color. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to lay this piece. We're not going to worry about this kit.
We're supposed to be doing the tree silhouette first before the stitch.
Oh, okay.
Tree silhouette.
My bad. Wrong step. Thanks for the catch, Carol.
Yep.
So Carol's going to do the tree silhouette fill stitch, and we're just going to let that stitch out. And how long for that to stitch out? 30 minutes. We better put on a show for them. We could show all the products while this is stitching out, and then the other steps aren't as long. Since fabrics aren't marked, how do we know which one is which? Let's go over that, okay? So I'll be able to tell you in this video. So let's lay out all our fabrics that we have. We have, and I'm gonna go to darkest to lightest, okay? So that's what the important part of using that digital download code is, that I'm going to be able to tell you which fabric is which. I'm going to put that file in there tonight along with the other files. So first we have our fabric A. And fabric A is Shadow Play 513YJ. It's called Mazarine Blue. And that's used in blocks 1 and 5. Okay?
There we go.
The next one is a shade lighter. This one is called Shadow Play Barrage Blue, if I'm saying that right. And then the next one is a shade lighter. It is called Shadow Play Blueberry. So here's the blueberry color. And then the final fat quarter is the Shadow Play Cobalt. And then your backing fabric, which you get, this is the easy one to tell because it's the largest piece.
And the darkest.
So that one's called Crown Blue. It's the darkest one. Crown Blue is used for the borders and the backing. So in the file, if you take your download code, go to sewseamless.shop to redeem your code. And all you'll have to do for that is that you'll put Magic in the Air Embroidery into your cart. And then at checkout, you'll put in your digital download code and you'll see a place to put it. And you'll be able to, it will tell you that your total goes from $36.95 to 0. Okay, and then you'll check out and then you'll have a place to download. And it's also going to email you telling you that your downloads are ready and you can download it from the email as well. So if you're having any trouble, please refer to the email in the book. And I can help you out step by step with redeeming that code. Yeah, and so that way, whenever I update the file tonight, as soon as I update that file, it's going to notify you guys, and let you know that I've added something to the digital download files for Magic in the Air, and it will say click to download here, and you'll be able to download it. Okay, and I'll mention it in the email too, what exactly I've added and what I've changed. Yeah, let's start from the top.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You indicated that this would take 30 minutes to stitch out. Where did you see that on this machine?
So on the Luminaire, it says on the right-hand side, right next to the color.
Oh.
So it says 30. So I know that takes 30 minutes. And it says blue wisteria.
Yeah, right. I don't think the Elissimo has that
No.
on the side. No,
No, it probably doesn't.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's nice. This gives you the size.
Right.
And the stitch time.
Okay.
51 minutes. Each one of these blocks takes about an hour. They charge. Okay, Donna, we'll get you a refund on that. You put the download code. So let's go over the download code really quick. I want to make sure everyone's able to do that. So if you could zoom in, Kate, to step number 1. So step number 1 would be visiting the website soseamless.shop. Now I have to add a lot of things to that, so don't be surprised if there's nothing on there. But I'm slowly working on it in my free time. Now step 2 is find the design. So you'll go up to the search bar, you'll type in Magic in the Air, and it should come up. Okay, you'll add that to your cart. You click Add to Cart, then at checkout. So at checkout, enter your redemption code in the discount or redemption code box. And if you could see this area right here, if you could zoom in, Kate. So you'll put in your email, and then you will put in your code. So you see this code, it says redemption code, and then right underneath there it says discount or redemption code. And once you click apply, it would say $0 for the total. So you can see it says $0. Don't check out unless it says and you can go ahead and finalize your checkout, and then after you're done complete with the checkout, it would say to download your files on the right hand side. Okay, and if you are running into trouble with your download code not working, go ahead and email solutions@soseamless.shop.
Do we have Magic in the Air completed here? Where is it?
Hanging in there.
Was it?
Okay. Okay. So let's go up. Let's go back to the Old Glory. So sold 101 is the next project, Old Glory, and that is for the 6x10 hoop. And like I said before, all the different formats will be available for that: DST, EXP, HUS, JEF, PES, VIP, VP3, and the XXX. Now,
Somebody wanted to see the whole project.
okay, here's the whole project, and I added more grommet holes to this. But for the Old Glory, you'll be getting those 5 different designs, well, 6 different designs. You'll get 3 different edge-to-edge quilting designs. You'll get all the fabric needed to make it. The only thing that you will not get is the Insulbright and the cotton embroidery batting. Yeah, so there's the Magic in there. Oh, we had it back there, Carol? Is
Yeah,
that
it
where
was on the
hiding?
door.
So yeah, you'll get the lining fabric. You're going to get 1.5 yards of the lining fabric. You're going to get a 1/2 yard of the cream, I believe, and then
I lost one of these.
fat half of the blue. And you'll need to buy Shape Flex and
I will fix
the
that.
and the batting. Let's move to the next product. So we have Embroidery Elegance, our monthly project. So this is like a prepaid, like you pay for 3 months or 6 months. The 3 months is $199. And what's the 6 months, Kate? Could you scroll down just a little? The 6 month is something. The 6 month is $377. So you're getting a little better price on these boxes. You can choose if you want to write in your customer note when you check out and you choose to do the prepaid plan, you're going to save a little extra money per box. All these boxes are going to be around $69.95. original price, you know, just if you're not doing the prepaid plan. So you'll save like $5 with the 3-month and maybe $7 with the 6-month. Okay, and you can tell us which. Well, for the 6-month, we only have 6 more months left, right? Or do we only have 5?
5.
What if we already bought 2?
Wait.
I don't know what that means. So
Yeah.
we only have 5. So don't buy the 6. Well, the 6-month we'll have to make the Magic in the Air again. So it starts with Magic in the Air now. We don't have kits for the other ones available, right? So
Nope.
they can't do the full year. We're already halfway through, which is crazy. Are we halfway through? So we did
yeah.
the Love Sweet Love. We did the Easter pillow. The
No,
St.
the
Patrick's,
Shamrock.
the Shamrock,
Knots
the
of
Easter
Luck,
pillow,
Gam's Garden.
Oh, I'm behind one.
Then,
I'm behind one. I owe them one because we
then
took a month
Magic in
break.
the Air.
We took a month break.
You took a month break.
I took a
didn't
month
take a
break.
month break.
April? March? April? I did. Did I take a month break? I did. So there's still 7 left?
Oh, in
I still-
January
yeah.
we did
I owe you.
Sweet Love.
I'll have to find a month where we do 2. I think I'm doing that for fall.
Knots of Luck. Peeps in the Garden. Gam's Garden. And this one, and the casserole was 6.
So this will be 6.
This is
Okay.
the
There's still
casserole is 6.
6 more left.
Yeah.
6 more left. Okay. Let's move on.
Marilyn, why was I cracking you up? Because I broke stuff again. It's for her comment.
4 fat quarters in the Magic in the Air kit, and then the 1 3/4 yard of the backing and border fabric. So Chris, if you are missing a fabric, please reach out to Gloria Horn Sewing Studio. Orders at gloriahorn.com if you want to email us and tell us your problem.
Chris, there's supposed to be 5 fat quarters in the Magic.
Nope, 4 fat quarters, right?
1, 2, 3. Plus the, yeah.
Yeah,
plus
so 5
4,
total fabrics.
4 plus the backing.
Yeah. Where's the hanger? Okay. Ackfeld. I mentioned this on the final page. Ackfeld has these awesome hangers. We have the 8-inch one, right? Is it 8-inch or 6-inch?
That's 6 inch.
6-inch one, and then there is
No,
8
and 12.
there's an 8-inch one. This is the 8-inch one for hanging your design, and then the 12-inch one is sold $105. Well, I mean these. Well, I think they're supposed to be bees, but we're calling them fireflies. Marcy, you should have gotten a instruction booklet. If you didn't get the instruction booklet, you gotta call the shop and let them know, or email them, preferably. Email, it's easier to keep track of. So email the shop at orders@gloriahorn.com.
Marcy, yes, you get an instruction book.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. She's
Yeah.
got an email.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one, sold 106. Shape Flex. Get your pre-cut Shape Flex. You'll get a 60-inch by 1 yard for this one. Sold 106. And then, yeah, we'll need to do this for all the background fabrics. And you're going to be using it for the borders and then not for the backing, right? Mm-hmm. Right. How wide is the finished project? Well, it depends how wide you cut your strips, right? So I believe it's like about 15 inches. I think I gave it an approximate finished size, which is 37 by 15 if you follow along with my instructions and cut the same strip size as me. So it's about 15 inches wide. I figured going in, if I included different sizes to this, it would take too long to sew out, and it was too hard with push and pull compensation for doing the fill stitches. And it might be too big for your door. If you did this in the radiance hoop, it might go all the way to the floor, you know? But you do need the Shape Flex. That's not included in the kit. If you don't have Shape Flex, you're going to want to buy the Shapeflex.
Okay.
Okay, what's the next one? And then we got, you want to do the other Shapeflex?
Yeah.
Let's do the other Shapeflex. So we do sell it by, is this a 2-yard cut?
20 inch by 10 yards.
20 inch by 10 yards. This whole bolt. That's what you need. You need the whole bolt.
That's how I buy mine.
Just buy the whole bolt
Yep.
because we use it all the time
Yep.
in everything. The next project, you're going to be using Shapeflex, and you're going to need a lot of it. So buy the whole bolt of Shapeflex. That's the best price you can get if you buy the whole bolts, and you will get a 20 inch wide by 10. How many yards? 10 yards. 10 by 20. Let's go over the different threads that we used. So the first one is 405. So we're going to be selling all these threads. We got ES 405. It seems like we used 405 in the last one. Now if you have a similar color, go ahead and use that. But in block number 5, we use 405 for the magic in the air stitching. Right here. Yeah, ES 405. And these are 1,000 meter spools. 1,000 kilometer, 5,000 meter spools, right?
Yep.
5,000 meter spools for ES 405. Now, ES 806
Yep.
is sold 109. So sold 109 for ES 806. 806, you will be using that for the background quilting in most of the blocks, except for the top one.
We used 423.
We're going to be
On
using
this one.
423 in the top one, but for the rest, and for block number 5. But
Yeah.
for blocks 2, 3, and 4, you will be using 806 for the background quilting. And then we'll move over to the one that's in right now,
machine.
and that's what we use for all the fill stitches. I think in your boxes you should have gotten this one. If you didn't get this one, you may have gotten one of the other ones. So sold 108 for ES 423, and that is the darkest blue. I believe it's called Midnight. Midnight blue. What is it called? Dark Night. Dark Night. Midnight, Dark Night. Now the gold thread. We have, which one is that? Is that MG1? We have MG1, and that's a good one to use. It's really by preference of like what you want your gold to look like. I don't know if you put MG3 in, Kate. Kate's gonna add MG3, but I think that's the one we used for our sample. Let me check. No, that looks like, I don't know. I think that's MG1. No, that's MG1. In the instructions, I say MG1. We use MG1. If you want your color to pop out a little more, use a richer gold for MG3. That's MG3. This is MG1. I like the MG1 for this one.
Yeah.
Because this is almost too much to me, you know? That's
Yeah.
too gold.
This is my favorite gold period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now let's move on to the perfect punch tool. So when we do those gold grommets, oh, she has MG3 in. Sorry, Kate. I know this is
Yeah.
gonna mess up our videos for the store. MG3, get one of these. Kingstar is the best gold thread. We've tried that other gold thread, and it was it's tough to use. You gotta babysit it, but yeah, it works great. Use Kingstar metallic. Now, a perfect punch tool. These are for cutting out your little holes in the eyelets, the firefly eyelets. So after we're done putting down the eyelets in embroidery, we're going to use the perfect punch tool to cut them out. And this is really cool. And it comes in 3 different sizes, 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, and 4 millimeter. I think we use the smallest size, 2 millimeter, for cutting those out.
Yeah.
So if you have the perfect punch tool already, use the 2 millimeter to cut those out.
I have to get one of these. I have a rivet press which has a hole cutter,
Yeah.
but it's really
These ones are great. I like how you
I think it's just a cool tool to
you
have.
can take these out and you can clear out all the
and the little bits are in the handle.
Yeah.
This top unscrews, and there's 3 different sizes of little tips that you put on that.
I might have to open one. I don't know if
we
we have
have
one
one?
open.
No, I don't
one
see
in
it.
there.
Everything but the kitchen sink is in there.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
We ran out of bobbin.
Yep, bobbin thread.
We should have put finishing touch in. Do we got bobbin over here? We might be out. No, we got our big box of bobbin. So each one, I would recommend before starting each block, put in a new bobbin. It uses a lot of thread, and it's probably going to use pretty much a full bobbin. It's okay. Carol's going to put in.
We could have went a little longer. I don't push the limit though. I just take it
No.
out. Some people keep going.
Yeah.
All right, put this back in. And okay, and I'm going to go back 10 stitches just in case. Minus 10, that looks good. Okay, start. Okay.
I blame Kimberbell. They're always used in the perfect punch tool. I stole ours. Maybe I stole it.
My Elissimo does have the time on it. This
does?
screen just looks so, it
Yeah.
looks a little different.
How do you get the Solaris to keep going when the bobbin is out? I don't know. I don't take that risk.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, so I wouldn't know how. Karen, the 12-inch works the best. It's 15 inches. The 12-inch does work the best. The 8-inch it's really preference for the hanger size. The 8-inch hanger it looks great. It's very cute. They both work. Yeah, it's just to hang it on your door. And if you have a different method for putting loops on and how you want to hang it, go ahead and use your preferred method. Let's do the batting. Let's just go through all the. This is where we sell. This is how we keep doing these videos for you guys, is selling these things and getting them to you.
This is a biggie.
This is a biggie. You gotta buy this one.
The Gypsy quilter.
Gypsy quilter,
It's
embroidery batting. Do you
24
use this
inches
one a
by
lot?
10 yards. I actually, either this one or the Kimberbell. The Kimberbell is a little bit thinner.
Okay.
If you really want a little more loft, the Gypsy quilter gives you a little bit more loft. They're both excellent products.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what we're using today. We've used the Kimberbell version as well, but this is the 24-inch. So if you're a big hooper, and you need something to fit inside your hoop, do the 24-inch. I recommend getting the 24-inch. You can always cut it smaller too.
Yep.
And
16
we
inch.
use it all the time. We're going to be using this for the next project, probably the project after that, and the project after that. So make sure you have enough batting to get these projects done. We're just going to talk you through all the other sizes. So the next one would be 18 inches by 10 yards. So we do have the 18-inch by 10 yards. It comes in the same roll. It's embroidery batting. Now, it's embroidery batting because it has polyester in it, right?
62% cotton, 27% polyester. It's
And
not all cotton
11%
batting.
scrim. Okay, so it's not all cotton batting. So we use this for a lot of our projects. 18-inch by 10 yards. We also have 16-inch by 10 yards, and that's sold $114 for the 16-inch. And then we have the 12-inch by 10 yards.
They have a lot of different sizes. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. And that is sold $116 for the 12 inches by 10 yards. And then if you like Kimberbell's batting, and I guess it's a little thinner, that's sold $125. We have plenty of all of these in stock. Now for cutting, Cutting your applique. Uh-oh. I hope it's just hopping over.
Mini duckbill.
It's gonna do that
The
last bush.
femore?
How much time? So we got 7 minutes left. We can do the scissors.
Okay.
So mini duckbill, applique scissors. We got the gypsy ones. If they're not going to be the purple handle ones, so we'll probably give you the femore. The femore work great. I mean, they're probably the same manufacturer that are making these. This one just has a little purple handle. Like all scissors, they do dull eventually, but these are really sharp right out of the packaging, and you'll be able to just cut through all your little batting. These work great because you saw I ran into the hoop. If you're in a smaller hoop or your applique is towards the outside of your hoop, it can bump into the hoop when you're trimming. These make it nice because it's a little thinner on this fat part of the bill.
No serrated edges.
No serrated edges.
Nope, it's clean. Yep.
Now we got the 6-inch one. Carol's a fan of the 6-inch one. No serrated edges as well, but you can see it's got this big bill here, and they're 6 inches. And I like these ones better for cutting.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to cut
And
just because you got more leverage.
And it makes it easy too.
Yeah,
It gives you really good leverage for cutting batting, especially embroidery batting when you're embroidering. They're great.
Great. 6-inch. Now we got, let's do our left-handed cool curved scissors. So we got our, where's our lefties? Are these the lefties? True left hand. So we got our left-handed curved 6-inch scissors by Femore. If you're a lefty, you got to have these scissors. If yours are dull, please order another pair. And then for our righties, we got the 6-inch. So if you prefer using these, we got the 6-inch for our righties. Double curved machine embroidery scissors. Now, what did they say? I never use these.
I never did either. But they're Femore. I mean, you can't beat Femore's quality.
Yeah.
But yeah,
some people prefer different scissors, so you might just add this to your arsenal of cutting supplies, and if one pair of scissors goes dull, you could try those out.
Yeah, and the curve is to help you get into the hoop better. You know, a lot of these, that's the purpose.
And you know what? This curve is going the opposite way of the duckbills.
Yeah.
You know, so where are we? Here we are. So you can see the curve there versus the curve here. It's going opposite directions.
Right.
So
yeah,
I could see why you can add this to, you know, your cutting supplies. If there's something hard to cut, I don't know. Why is it going that way? Maybe it will tell me. Maybe it's to stay out of the way of the hoop.
Well, that is the purpose of the curve. But
yeah. But see how it's going the opposite direction of these ones?
Here. Ah.
You know?
Yeah.
I never really thought about that.
I never noticed that. I never noticed that.
So these might be like, it's just personal preference, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
If someone knows why the curves are going the different ways, please let us know.
Okay.
Oh, the left-handed duckbill scissors are in the bubble right now. They're sold $128, and those are for the mini scissors, the mini duckbills, and they're for lefties. Shout out to the lefties. I'm not a lefty, but I'd be upset if all my scissors were right-handed and I was a lefty. So I'm glad we have the left-handed scissors. Betsy, I think someone has answered that for me before, and it made sense. I think you don't want to cut like the stabilizer, at least for embroidery, when you're using them for embroidery, you don't want to cut the stabilizer. So that's why it's like you have the dull end on the stabilizer, so you're not cutting the things that you don't want to cut, right?
Right. Betsy, when you use duckbill, shouldn't the duckbill go closer to the fabric?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I have seen people use them incorrectly. This goes underneath what you're cutting.
Underneath what you're cutting, okay.
Right.
And We're almost done stitching here. We could just watch this stitch out. It's very therapeutic. Well, you know, we need a better microphone to like put next to here. Oh, watch this stitch out. I guess I'll explain. So palette 11, I did this design on palette 11, and I don't know, Kate, you want to try to zoom in on these stitches here? Like I did a like a stamp tool on palette 11, and it kind of made it look like tree bark, and I thought that was pretty cool to do. And
What he's talking about is the design that goes through
yes,
that long, slender.
yeah,
That's actually the tree.
That's a tree. Yeah.
But you call that a stamp design?
Yeah, there's a stamp design on palette 11 that allows you, so originally it was a fill stitch, or not a fill stitch, a satin stitch, but it was super wide, okay? So I used the stamp tool to kind of make it narrower satin stitches, and it kind of looks like a tree bark to me, so.
And they have those stamps in a lot of different motifs.
Yeah, so you can use all the motif patterns
Yeah.
in palette 11 to do those stamps.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fancy fill patterns, you can use as stamps. It's really cool
Yeah,
what
that's
palette 11 does.
interesting.
And I can't wait to do another digitizing class for Bernina because Bernina software.
You like Bernina software?
I'm
Yep.
liking Bernina a lot. Bernina software is the same as Hatch by Wilcom, and their software is excellent. A lot of pro digitizers use that software. You know what? I made a hat too recently. I wish I brought it in. But for the next project, I use Bernina software. So for this one, I use palette 11. For the next software, I use Bernina, and you can see on the next project, there's a lot of different stitches that I use that are unique that Bernina has to offer. I guess I'll hold it up in front of this camera.
Yeah.
So you can't tell probably on the camera, there is a raised satin stitch. So it's really cool how they do this. If you feel it, it feels like a puffy satin stitch, almost like you did like a 3D puff.
Exactly.
But what it does is it runs a smaller satin stitch across, then a bit larger one, and then a larger one, and then a larger one. So it kind of gives it like a 3D effect.
Dimension.
Yeah, 3D dimension. The different fill stitches, like for the popsicle, I was able to use a different fill pattern for this bomb pop, and it kind of contours it.
Yeah,
Kind of like
gives
your
it the
bomb pop would
ridges,
be.
right,
It
yep.
gives it its ridges. They had plenty of other designs like that. For this one down in the corner, they have this like contouring stitch that just, like I made these triangles, and then I used this contouring stitch and spread out the width of it, and it just made a really cool effect.
And it almost, now I don't know if it's the fabric or the stitches, but you kind of see some shading in here where there's red.
So that's what.
That is so cool.
We love to use this stitch, and I was wondering how do they do that? You know, so they must be using Hatch by Wilcom, which is Bernina Plus. Same thing. Same thing with this one. There's a cool stitch. Instead of a satin stitch, it's like a chain stitch. And maybe I'll show them the other one. We messed up. Where's the other one?
This one?
Yeah, because we have a little of the fuzzies poking out of that one. But this one we cut it really good. Yeah. So you can see it's like a chain stitch. It's not a satin stitch. It's this cool decorative stitch that we added to it. And I just love how their fill stitches are and their background. Like I took a motif off of Bernina. I mean, so this motif was in, it's a motif, but it's a background quilting. So I filled it with a motif. You could take all their motif stitches and make it into a background fill.
There's an eagle head and a flag. I think that that is so cool.
Yeah. And then the little stars going around as a motif stitch. So I know Baby Lock has the motif stitches, and I just like wanted to get creative and do different stitches and let your machine do the work, more so you trimming everything and doing appliques.
Okay, we're nearing the end.
And we do sell that Bernina software. If you're into digitizing, I use Bernina software a lot now. It's almost done. It's just gonna do this final fill stitch. Now, for this design, you can see that the tree ends kind of abruptly at the top, okay? That's because when you piece this together with block number 1, you can see the rest of the tree is at the top of block number 1. Okay, so when you're piecing that, you want to make sure that you're lining this up so the tree continues with the other tree. There's going to be cross stitches here that we do. Okay, we're ready.
We're ready for the flip and sew.
For the flip and sew, let's keep our thread in for 423. And we're going to go ahead. We should have cut out this fabric. That's okay. But for
I did. It's over here.
Oh.
It's probably a bigger piece than we need, but that's okay.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to press the green start button for the placement stitch. And this is just going to show you where you want to line up the edge of your fabric with the right side down. Okay? So this is just a placement stitch. Don't lay your fabric down yet. Just a placement. Now it's for the tack down stitch. Now Carol's going to go ahead and take fabric D, which is our lightest color blue, and she's going to lay down and she shape flex it. It's not necessary to shape flex this. You want me to get out of the way?
We're going to line it right up next to that stitch.
Yeah, if you
placement.
want to just overlap it slightly, you could do that, or you could line it up right on. But you could have measured from the stitch to there, and that would have told you how wide it's going to be.
It's okay.
But we're just going to use a bunch of fabric here.
Yeah.
But it's only like about, I would cut a 3-inch by width of this block design. So I would cut a 3-inch, do a 3.5-inch by 12.5-inch strip. And that should give you plenty to flip and sew. And now she's just gonna take that underneath. And then she's gonna finger press it down on the seam. And then you do wanna like kind of smooth it out. You can even take it out and take it to your ironing board and press that down nice and clean if you want to. It's not necessary. But if you are worried about it being a nice clean look, so go ahead and click start. It's going to start in the middle there, go to one side. So she's just smoothing it out with her hand, making sure there's no wrinkles as it's doing this tack down. And then it's going to go back and do the other side. Perfect. Okay, now we are going to start the background quilting, and that's going to take 6 minutes. So what color thread does it say we're using for the... We're using 806, so we do change.
Yep.
We're going to change to 806.
Here.
So I guess, yeah, 806 is used for the background quilting on blocks 2, 3, and 4. And on blocks 1 and 5, we use that 423 for the background quilting.
Whoops. Take the glasses off. Okay. The background quilting is kind of just like a series of scrolls. It's really pretty.
Yep.
Gives the appearance of wind and flight, which goes perfect with this design.
No, on the screen it looks way different than it appears when stitched out.
Yeah. That 806 shows up nice on this fabric too.
Maybe I should run and, while this is stitching out, I'm going to go run and find a perfect punch tool.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, you don't want to open?
I don't really want to open.
I got it. Okay. Good luck. We may not see him till tomorrow. He might get lucky. This one, yeah, they have it like crimped shut. So you can't open it without ruining the package. How much are these crimp tools? These, these perfect punches?
$19.95.
Oh, that's a great price. Well worth it. I might have to get one of those so I don't have to drag out my 30-pound rivet press. Did you find one?
No. John's going to look for me. If John doesn't find one, we're opening one. So after this goes on, we are going to thread the MG1 or whatever one. If we want to use MG3, no big deal.
MG1 is there,
MG1.
open. I don't want to open another one.
So Betty, if you just preview the design size, you can see how big each block is going to be. Just add an inch or 2 inches to the height and the width for your background fabric, okay? And if your machine doesn't preview a size, you'll have to just stitch out the placement stitch first, grab your ruler, and measure it out. I could also add that, sometimes I overlook just, you know, as you know, we've done a lot of embroidery. It's like, I don't even think to include that because I would just think to, you know, measure it.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's definitely useful to have, so
Yep.
I'll keep that in mind for the next time I do these.
Yeah, I never, you know, it's like you saw me do there. I
And
just take a big piece
yeah.
of fabric that fits the placement line
And sometimes I get it, like whenever I'm rushing this, I don't want to tell them the wrong
Yeah,
size because
yeah.
that's even worse to do.
I know, right.
Because if I tell you the wrong size, you're really going to mess up your fabric and you're going to be mad at me.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we can go preview all the sizes. Really, like you just click on the embroidery design you're about to do. It should tell you what size the block is in your machine. And then you just add an inch or
right,
2 inches
right,
to height and width.
Exactly.
If your machine doesn't preview the size, you can do the placement stitch, grab your ruler, measure.
A lot of other companies will give you cut sizes, but they typically do that because they're only, no, I don't want to say skimping on fabric, but they want to make sure that you have enough fabric. We have more than enough fabric in our kits that if you just, like he said, look at the measurements of what the design is on your embroidery machine, add 2 inches, you know, run your placement line and put it down. It's you have more than enough fabric. You're not going to waste fabric or be short fabric.
Yeah, Cheryl, please reach out to orders@gloriahorn.com. Send an email and let us know that you did not get your thread.
Yeah, right. She didn't get
And
thread.
I'm sure Ruth Ann watches the shows sometimes and she takes notes for us of who didn't get their things.
All right, let's screw it up here.
There we go.
Okay. I can't wait to do the mason jar.
Karen, you should have got lights in your box. If you didn't get lights in your box, please. We used 3.5 inch or 3.5 foot fairy lights. These ones are a little different. Should I just use these? I'm just gonna pull them. Some of you got some oscillating lights. These are warm white light fairy lights. I'm gonna unroll it. So these ones kind of look, some of you got these ones.
Oh, yeah.
Now I tried to measure out the distance between the grommet holes. So this one's 2 inches.
Yep.
So I think if you want to use, I think it would be best if you bought 6 foot ones and then just trimmed off the excess, you know, to make sure you have enough for the grommets. Now, one of the blocks, you may have to skip one of the grommets, and that, I don't know if that was my mistake or if I had a different pair of lights that worked better, but skipping one is...
Throw a rhinestone in there.
Yeah,
yes.
throw a rhinestone. Skipping one's
That's
not
a
gonna,
dead firefly.
Dead firefly. Yeah, it's not blinking yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready?
Next step is MG1.
Let me have scissors. I hate pulling this thread out from the top. I always do it from the bottom at
That's
home.
what Baby Lock recommends.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it can only go on that way.
I think it looks cool just like this.
I know.
You could end it here.
The silhouette is just beautiful. Okay.
Let's see, I gotta measure these ones out. Are these
Didn't
3.5
thread.
feet?
Okay, there it is.
Let me see some. Let me measure these fairy lights.
Okay.
Oh, it is 3.5 feet. I lost my mic. So right now it's doing a cross stitch, which also lines up with the cross stitch in block 1. And yeah, you'll just, whenever you're sewing it together, just make sure those points line up. That tree is lining up with block 1, and that cross stitch is lining up with block 1 as well.
Are we going to take it out and do the punching?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Follow the directions.
We gotta open a brand new punch tool.
Uh-oh.
Let's see, will these work?
I love that cross stitch. Well, I'm a
Thank
cross
you.
stitcher of 40 years. It's all over my walls at home. Kind of cross stitch.
Yeah.
Karen wants to know if the Celtic design, the Nasalak, is still available, just the design.
I will be having that on my site. Gloria will be selling that as well. I just got to print out booklets. We do have the booklets. Maybe she'll sell it with the flash drive. But it should be, yeah, we'll for Thursday night, I think we've got to go back through and sell all the different books that we've done so far.
Good
with
idea.
Just the digital download code.
Yeah,
So
good
we've
idea.
been meaning to do that. It's just finding the time to get books printed. But we do have books printed without the digital download code. Let's show them the OESD Perfect Punch. Okay, here's the Perfect Punch tool that we're going to be using. So it comes in the box like this, comes right out of the box like this. Now here's our hole puncher.
The tip screw on.
The tip screw on. So I'm going to unscrew this
Okay.
to change the tip. Take this one out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to open this. And you can see my small one. I think we use the small one.
Okay.
And then I got that one on. I'm going to put my
Screw
back on. I really like that they have this handle here to keep your other sizes.
Right.
Because I would lose these.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'd all lose these. Now we have it all set up.
Can we pop over to the embroidery? That cross stitch in the gold is beautiful. I love that.
It's cool. Yeah, palette 11. That's a feature on palette 11 to do cross stitch, your shapes in cross stitch. Oh, what happened there?
What?
It looks like it didn't cross stitch. Something. Oh, we got a knot around. We should have used a thread net. We got to go back a little. That's okay.
What part didn't it cross stitch? The whole thing?
You see, it ended the tip there.
Oh.
That's okay.
I usually put my metallic thread on a thread stand.
Yeah,
so
thread stand.
Yeah.
Thread net
Or use
too.
a thread net, yeah.
Let's go back a little. It doesn't take long for this step.
Oh, yeah, I see. Right up in
Oh
here.
yeah, that was the.
Okay.
Huh. No, that was just the eyelet. So that's good. It wasn't a cross stitch. It was just the eyelet. Okay. This didn't thread.
It came unthreaded, yeah.
Something happened.
Here, raise the
There we
foot
go.
raised.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
noticed.
didn't even miss the end of this. I thought it was fine ending
Yeah.
there.
Sometimes I noticed like the metallic thread.
Yeah.
It's lit like if you don't have a longer tail that at the jump, sometimes it slips out.
Well,
But not all the time.
I noticed if you put this on the horizontal spool kit, the thread feeds from the top instead of from
yeah, it
underneath,
does.
which may affect it too.
Yeah, so spool stand. Make sure
Right.
you use a spool stand when using metallic thread stand.
Did that still? Oh, that's the eyelet. I got it. Okay. How many eyelets are there? On
There's
this
20 in
pattern?
total, and you should have 20
One,
lights
two,
on your fairy lights.
Three, are there
One,
4 in
two,
each
three.
block?
Some have more than others. This one has 5. Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th one?
There's one right by the cross stitch. There's one up there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So there should be,
Oh,
on the
yeah.
3.5 foot fairy lights, there should be 20 lights. So let me count these and make sure there's 20 lights. Yep, 20 lights on the 3.5 foot fairy light. So we're just gonna see. That should. See, that's not gonna stretch over. Well, we better tell Gloria to order different fairy lights.
They're not that expensive. I was
No.
surprised.
These are.
Oh, okay, we're done. So what's next is taking it out and punching.
Yep, we're gonna. So after you do the gold metallic, you're gonna go ahead and take your perfect punch tool to your cutting mat.
And hopefully center it in that little circle there so
Yeah.
that you're not busting thread. Should I do it on the cutting mat? I
Yeah.
shouldn't do it. Does it matter?
Yeah, we're on the cutting mat here.
No, but I'm saying, won't it affect the cutting mat?
No.
See, I'd have got a block of wood.
Let's try that again. Oh, it just didn't come out.
Yeah, it just gets stuck. Here, let
Yeah.
me just use a...
I'm gonna try it again.
There
There
it
we go.
is. See, look what you did.
Whoops.
Is this a self-healing mat?
I thought it was.
Yeah, it
Where'd it go?
disappeared. I just rubbed it out.
Maybe I shouldn't press so hard. Cutting holes in this mat. You know, good. See? She'll rub out the hole on the mat.
Yeah.
Get your kitchen cutting board. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
They sell a little punch mat.
Oh, they have a punch mat. Well,
Well, he mentioned cutting board. That's what I would use. Mine's already all marked up from
yeah.
pounding meat. And so what's a couple of holes?
Okay.
One, oh, did you get that one?
I did get that one.
Okay.
So let's just show them the fairy lights and how I want to show them how you would do the fairy lights. What I like to do is I take my paper tape
Here.
and we got our Kimberbell paper tape. Let's do these little ones down here.
Are you tangled up?
I'm tangled up. That's okay. So I just find a light. I'm going to do this one. And this, I mean, you would do this part after it's all said and done. Maybe I should be careful. But I just line my light up right here. Paper tape over top. And the paper tape hole, I use paper tape because you want to be able to change these. If you have any bulb, I don't know if these burn out.
Yeah, they last a long while because they're LEDs.
Yeah.
I don't know how good the battery is, but I've had some that have, I'm on like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
They're holiday ones, so they're not on a lot.
Okay. So let's see if that worked.
Yeah.
You can see it lights up.
You can pull those out a little bit too.
Yeah, you can if you want to pull them out a little bit.
Yeah.
I like to just place them on the
Actually, if you
back.
pull them out and twist the wire a little bit, they stay
Oh, okay.
on the top.
So
Yeah.
Kimberbell paper tape, that is very useful to have.
Yep.
But now we'll start with the next step. So we punched out all our holes.
Next step is the mason jar placement and the vinyl tack down line.
Yep.
So,
And what are we going to thread here? Let's thread back to 4. Let's get ready for our next thread, 423. So here's 423.
okay.
You're good.
Scissors. Jeez. I still missed it. Too late now. My eyes are getting worse by the day.
That's not good.
I know.
Always jealous of the people with 20/20 vision.
Oh, God. I would give anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had one wish other than world peace, I would wish for my vision back. All right. Why is this coming off? Okay. Okay, why isn't
I hope it's not all the way in. Oh, this. Not try.
Thank you. I always put the foot down when I try to go behind that little hook because it keeps
Yeah.
it from moving.
We'll just
Make
move
sure
this
it's-
out of the way.
Fed.
So make sure your flip and sew block's out of the way. Go ahead and start it up. And it's just going to do a placement just like your standard tack down or placement and tack down for applique. That's how we're going to sew on this vinyl. You could even use paper tape to hold it down. I just use my fingers.
All right, now we are going to position the vinyl over the area that the placement line stitched, and I'm going to roll this backwards to get it a little flatter. And let me see how big it is, because I'm just going to trim it. From down about here. Okay, these nails are like useless for stuff like
Here,
this.
you want me to try?
Oh, I got it. Whoopee.
Oh, tape on it.
Yeah. Is there tape on this piece? Okay. We're not gonna.
Tape these.
Nope.
Let me check this one.
That was discovered by accident.
How do you get that off?
Okay, before you do that. Oh, got it. Okay, there we go. Okay, position this. And we're gonna hit start.
I wonder if like nail polish remover or like Goo Gone.
Rubbing alcohol.
Rubbing
I don't
alcohol.
know. Yeah. All right. And then take this out and it gets trimmed. I'm guessing that's the next step.
Yep.
All right. Look at the mess you made.
I know.
I'm going to try the little, where'd they go? Where'd all the scissors go?
Snips? I've snipped it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's check this drawer.
Look at
This paper tape is sticky.
likes me, yeah.
Is this Kimberbell's paper tape?
Yes.
They got sticky paper tape.
All right, now, I'm not going to...
You want me to do
I
this?
can't even... Yeah, it's the light and...
It's yeah. We have a lot of glare from our fancy light. It's hard. It's hard to see the clear vinyl.
Yeah,
It's
and...
so clear.
Oh, yeah, that's better. Oh, almost got that seam. Yeah, when you're cutting this vinyl, make sure you don't cut into that seam that's kind of sticking up that should not be cut.
Lynn is saying snips won't do vinyl very well.
No, yeah, I wouldn't have.
Let's try the duckbills. Here's the duckbills. The little ones.
Too many scissors on this table.
I know.
The snips I got real close. Let's see how these do. Yeah, these are. And these make it easier going around the curves too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, and we have 423 in the thread, and this is the final step for this block. And we'll go ahead and take this out, trim it up, and we'll talk you through the rest of the project. Give yourself a week to do this. I'd say do a block each day.
Yeah.
Then in no time you'll have it done. Do the borders one day. Do the backing another.
Some people have posted theirs already.
I know.
I
People are
wonder how long
overachievers.
Yeah. mean, if I had a whole day where I could just sit and sew, I could get it near
Jean,
done.
I'm gonna include how much fabric you'll need to complete the carrier, so you can buy the yardage from us too. But we should be doing extra kits too.
Are you talking about Jean?
Yeah, Jean is saying
Yeah, extra fabric kits.
just a fabric kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have that option as well.
Yeah.
Also lets them know like how much we spend. These boxes do cost us a lot, especially to assemble. The employees we take up to put these together. I wanted this box to be $80. Gloria said, nope. We're doing it for $69. I think $80 that's quite the investment for each box. So, I mean, with all the fabric, the vinyl, I'm selling these. The time it took me to do the designs was a long time.
Yeah.
And the materials we waste to
Test. Right.
So, Chris, first we're going to sell the fabric kit as an option, within the season. And then after a certain period of time, a month or 2 months, we're going to sell the digital book. So, yeah, we'll be selling the book with the download code as well. So,
I think this would be cute hanging on the door to your kids' room for them to look out after they look at when they go to sleep.
Oh, Gray loves fairy lights.
Yeah.
So, and they love fireflies. We saw the fireflies last night.
Oh, I did too. The past 2 nights I've seen a lot of them.
It was 9:30 and he was strapping on his shoes to go outside. We're like, no, it's bedtime. But tonight we're going to have to let him. You know what you could have done? Like, we could have made mini hangings too. Like, you could just do block 1 and 2 and make just like a mini hanging of it.
Yeah.
You could just do this one and do a hanging of it, and maybe these two together. And do
you could do a small pillow.
A small pillow too. A bunch of little pillows.
Take just this part of it and make a little pillow for your kids' room.
Yeah. So now it's just going to do a bean stitch over top the satin stitch for a little extra flair, a little extra detail.
I like the bean stitch over that satin stitch. It just gives it a little bit more texture, dimension. Oh, it's still got that's all embroidery, the top of the mason jar.
Yep, the top of the jar is embroidery now.
Yep. Beautiful. Is there a block that has the moon on it? The top one. What kind of a stitch is the moon?
It's just a satin stitch.
Okay.
Extra wide satin. Well, it might be a fill stitch, just like a curve. And when you digitize it, you're able to. Here, let's let them see. I'm able to curve the fill stitch along with the shape. So, yeah.
Love it. Lost video and sound. Go out and go back in.
That's what she said.
But if you lost sound, you might not be able to hear me say that.
Yeah. You'll be able to rewatch the video too, Jenny. I'm sorry. And who knows? I don't know where you are. I can't say. We try to have the best connection we can here for doing
I noticed that since we haven't been able to comment on the iPad, that I get a lot of buffering on my iPad now that I didn't have before, and I'd have to go out and come back.
Yeah, using the iPad is no good. It was, but
for the screen size, it's great. It's
great.
Excellent. Yeah, but it's just not worth. You can comment still good on Facebook and on your iPhone.
Yeah, and YouTube too. If you want to see in landscape mode and view on your iPad, go to YouTube. Download the YouTube app and subscribe to us so you get notified when we're on.
You could say by having digital download and no boxes. Well, we'd still
Well,
have to send out
The
for
digital
kids,
download, like the amount of fabric
right?
and the flash drive. What else are you getting in there? The printed instructions, the flash drive,
The candy, the US. Oh,
the
It would
USB,
know it would be digital.
the fairy lights.
It's vinyl.
Yeah, so like that cost is going to add up, especially like you're not going to be able to buy, not all the time, like just a fat quarter somewhere.
Right.
So I took that into account. So I'm making sure that the price point for the books.
Or not printing the directions and having a PDF of directions.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I want to give that option for people who aren't good with computers.
Yeah.
They just want to have the instructions printed out for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, some of our clientele have the most expensive embroidery machines, but they're clueless when it comes to doing other things on the computer. So, yeah. That's a wide satin.
Yep. It's almost done. I think just some run stitches go around the satin stitches here, and then it's all finished. Then you'd move on to your next block.
Yeah, you could do 3 or 4 of these in a day if you had all day to sew.
Yeah.
I would love to have, if I
it's
have
too
a
hot
whole day to
outside.
sew, yeah, I was sewing all day Sunday. I did not step outside at all. The dog didn't even get a walk.
Yeah. Yeah, Gray was supposed to have baseball today. They made him, he's just 5 years old. It's T-ball. And they made him go inside today
Oh, yeah.
for T-ball, but it's too crazy with
Nope.
kids inside playing T-ball. I didn't send them.
Okay, we're
Okay.
done. Feeny.
Yep, we'll take this one out. And we'll trim up the sides. I'll show you how I like to trim them up. And we'll talk about sewing on the borders.
I never just pop it out at home either. Here, I always loosen.
I like to just pop it out.
Yep, I'm sure you do.
Yep. I throw my scraps on the ground.
All right, you want a ruler?
Yeah.
There's one
So,
there and there's a rotary.
Here's an option. If you want to use a larger seam allowance or you just want more to grab onto, what we can do is take this tack down stitch and just measure out a 1/4 inch, and that should give us roughly a half inch seam allowance. Now, let's trim it up. I'm going to do it the way I like to do it, but you could just trim on the outside of that stitch there, and that's going to give you a 1/4 inch seam allowance. But honestly, it's not really a full 1/4 inch because of the batting. If you don't
Right.
trim that batting down right against that tack down stitch, you're not going to have a full 1/4 inch seam allowance. You'll have to use like an 1/8 inch seam allowance.
It wouldn't matter to me how much I cut beyond a seam allowance, because when I would sew this together, I would line up and sew right on top of that placement.
So all these
stitch.
blocks, like what I'm doing, I'm lining up my 1/4 inch right here, and I'm cutting outside a 1/4 inch on that tack down line, and I'm lining up the corner over here, and I'm doing a 1/4 inch to the outside. I'm doing that all the way around. And because there has been push and pull, so I can actually see that in the middle, it's pulled a little to the inside, and I just want to make sure this is square. So if I cut right on that line, it's not going to be perfectly like a perfect rectangle. You know what I'm saying?
What I would do is cut that big, sew on that line, then trim. Don't trim before you sew them together.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Yeah. I guess when it comes down to the...
Yeah, you have a better area to see and to adjust things if you leave a bigger seam allowance.
Yeah. So what are you saying, like do a half
I'd
inch?
move it out 1/2 inch.
I'll do a 1/2 inch.
Yep, 1/2
We'll do it
inch.
Carol's way. You could do a 1/4 inch, and we'll show you where you want to stitch along, okay?
Yep.
Did I line that up a 1/2 inch? Yeah, I did. It's hard to see with the blue fabric.
Yeah, it is.
So 1/2 inch. I'm going to do this outer one. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we need a new blade.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I see that?
Here. Oh, open it. It's open.
This one just didn't. Okay. So if we flip it over to this side, okay. Now, when we're piecing these together, so I'm going to be piecing this to block 1, right? And when I piece them together, you can line up these outer stitches and like pin along the tack down stitch. That's the stitch on the outside. But when I'm stitching, I only want to go. I want to go enough that I catch this decorative stitch, possibly right on the edge, because I could see that's right where the batting ends. But
So you want to sew to the right side of the lowest piece of stitching here, which is the batting placement stitch.
yeah, I would go like to the outside, right? Like you're just
Well,
stitching.
yeah, just a thread or two beyond this,
Yeah.
so that when you flip, it doesn't show. Though it doesn't matter if it shows because it's so close to the fabric
Yeah.
color that it's not like you're using white and you're going to see it. But so right next to this line right here, right next to it.
Yep, right next to it.
Yep. And then after you've done that, then you can go ahead and trim it to whatever size you want your seam allowances to be. But I like having a little bit extra here so that if I need to adjust,
Yeah.
go real slow. And if I have to adjust, I've got something to grip here. And then cut your seam allowance off after you've sewn.
Same thing with when you're attaching the borders. So when we piece this all together, so after you piece out block 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 to 3 to 4 4 to 5, you're going to go ahead and measure that total length, right?
Right.
And that's the strip size you're going to get. You're going to add you add a 1/2 inch.
Half inch.
Add a 1/2 inch to those side strips. Okay, so we mention it here in the instructions on page number 12. So 12, I just have some, these might not line up with your actual measurements. So I said that I have a 33.75 inch finished block. These 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's 33.75 inches, 37 3/4 inch. So I added 1/2 inch to it for my strips. Oh, wait, no, I wouldn't do that with that one. Sorry. Yeah, you would. No. You measure the total length. Let's go over this again. Sorry. I'm overthinking things. So measure the length here. Okay. We're going to, if you want a 2-inch border, you're going to do a 2.5 inch strip, right? Like 2.5 inch wide.
Right.
But then you want it to match the length of these pieces together. So
Right.
you have to get your measuring tape out, use something to measure it, make sure it's the same length. Even go a little extra, and you can always trim it.
Ruth Ann says measure in the middle. Measure in the middle and cut your strips that length.
Okay.
And make it, that way you're getting it perfectly square.
Okay.
And adjust as you need to make sure that the two strips fit.
And now when you piece these two together, so after you piece these side borders on, then you'll press your seams so everything's flat, and then measure that total distance width, and that will give you the length of these strips.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
And then you'll piece those together. And then for the envelope back, we'll go to page number 13. For the envelope back, we are going to, take our
With
I'm
plus
trying to
length.
look at what I wrote down upside down, and we got 2 instructions here for a reason. So you like your measure out your final width and length, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna cut 2 pieces of backing fabric for the envelope back, okay? For that backing. And you're gonna add 4 inches to the length.
Correct.
Okay? And then you are gonna fold it in a 1/2 inch and then fold it again in another 1/2 inch.
Yeah, double
as you
fold.
see right here.
Yeah, double
fold.
fold.
So this is what, and then you're gonna hem it, right?
Right, right.
And then you'll lay your pieces over top. So you'll lay it over top, you'll pin it, and then you'll stitch around the outside.
This is
now
this
it might
is
be
your
better.
this is your overlap in the middle.
Yeah, it might be better to stitch from this side, okay, instead of the envelope back side, right? So you could see where you're stitching.
Oh,
Along
yeah,
here?
I get it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe in the instructions I should have mentioned that.
Well, this is another option that I do too. Lay your finished piece out like this. Make your backing fabric, but do a little bit extra. Lay this down and then cut this. That's another option too. That allows you room for mistakes or easing, and you know, I often do this.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I've got the overlap. These 2 pieces will be greater than the sum of these pieces.
Yeah.
After I get
Okay.
it laid out, then I'll trim the backing.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then threading your fairy lights. So the 3.5 inch or 3.5 foot fairy lights that you have, I tried to measure out the distances correctly for the lights I gave you. But looking at these lights, these seem like we gave some people more, like the distance between these lights
Was longer.
is shorter. So we might need to
Oh.
give these people 2 sets.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, okay.
They might need to get 2 sets. I mean, what solves that problem is ordering the 6-foot fairy lights. But those were very pricey for the 6-foot fairy lights.
Yeah.
So I wish we could have given you the 6-foot fairy lights, and you would just trim them down.
Yeah.
But it costs more to do the 6-foot than 3.5 foot.
Yep.
So, Melinda, I do want to do more fill designs. I was planning on that before this box, this project box.
We're keeping him busy. He doesn't have time for that.
I don't have time. And also the reason why I did this box is because I wanted to show my mom that I can make my own designs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she's like, it was a big risk because she didn't know if people would buy them. So thank you all for your support.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I'm going to try to keep doing these projects and making them extravagant. I know what's after the carrier, so I don't even want to give a hint yet, but it's, you know what I was supposed to say? Anything is popsicle. That's all.
Yeah. I think something like this, a version of this would be cute for October with ghosts and Halloweens and a haunted house on it and lights.
Yeah, that would be. Maybe bats.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool. Instead of doing the eyelets, you do bats.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fun. But what kids are trying to catch bats? You know, maybe you kick that one out.
Well, we wouldn't know. I'm saying a different scene. Don't include
different
the
scene
kids,
for that
but
one.
just have like a little cemetery and some ghosts, a haunted
silhouette
house.
of a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah,
That would be really cool.
that would be cool.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. What would the
Ooh.
mason jar be? See, there's
The
so
wood
many
mason
options.
jar wouldn't be anything because we'd have lights in the windows in the houses. We'd have lights in the pumpkins.
Yeah. See, there's so much you can do.
I know.
That's why this is so fun. I'm so grateful that I've found my way here.
Yeah.
So
Me too.
This is a lot of fun. If you haven't gotten your magic in the air, I apologize. I mean, thank you all for your support. A lot of you bought it, and we ran out of materials. So it's a good problem for us to have, not so much for the people who are still waiting for their kits. We just ask for your patience. We're going to get them out to you. Good thing about these ones is that Fireflies is a summer design.
Yeah.
And you'll have time to make this.
You will.
And it's not hard. Like you just saw, it's
Yep.
fill stitches.
I don't think people realize the logistics that go into not only creating this, but building it and coming up with a list of fabrics. It's pretty intense.
You know what? I was talking.
And this is one man.
I was talking to other people who do like other digitizers. They take 6 months,
right,
at minimum, to release a project.
Yeah, Kimberbell's working on stuff a year before they release.
I know. It's like I wish It's like I should be thinking about next year. I don't even know if I could do it next year box. I might just be thinking about doing a design and taking my time with it. For next year. So I can't. This might be a once in a lifetime project box for Gloria Horn. So you'd be the only ones to do it.
At least he'll still be digitizing, but it won't be a monthly thing.
Yeah.
It won't be.
But that's all we have for you today. Any questions? Any questions before we say goodbye?
Yep.
I know it takes 30 seconds after I say this. We have a delay, a little bit of delay, just in case we cuss or anything. Carol's got a sailor's mouth, so we have to put the 30-second delay on.
You know what? I've been conscious of that, and I haven't.
No, you haven't.
I haven't screwed up yet. Did I swear this time?
No.
Okay.
I guess we're what do you call it? We're a PG-13 show. A project every 2 months would be great next year.
Are you doing Nancy Halverson book? We're not going to talk about that.
We're not talking about that. Yeah. It's, we would love to.
Yeah, he's got to sleep sometimes. We'll see. We'll see. We're not saying no. We're not saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we still order? Yeah. You can still order. If you want to order this box, it is sold 100, and that will give you all the fabric. It will give you the cool flash drive, the fairy lights, a spool of thread, a little bit of Gloria's candy, and you'll get it in a box, possibly a poly mailer in the future. But if you just wanted to do the booklet with the download code on soseamless.shop, you're going to do sold 104. So if you just want the booklet, sold 104. And thank you all for joining in today. I hope you enjoy making this project. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at orders@gloriahorn.com, and we'll give you some tips if you need some help with something. Okay.
All
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Goodbye.